Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So I'm making this video perhaps more for my own benefits than anyone else's. But I've been making a few videos about Arabic, some mathematics, previous videos on psychology and spirituality, and I plan to make some videos on English soon as well. What's the common link between this? What am I trying to teach? What am I trying to give forth in this channel? Again, I speak here more for mine own benefit rather than anyone else's, but peradventure it may prove beneficial to someone who may watch this video. So, long story short, I have a vision behind everything I'm doing here. I have a vision behind the educational adventure in which I embark. Very simply, what I seek to give forth here is not to give this vision to anyone else. Of course, each person's vision is his own, but to give forth something of the fruits which I have delighted in of knowledge, to give forth something of the pathway which may lead unto what may call spiritual enlightenment and illumination. What I seek is the knowledge of God, the knowledge of that one which is in the beginning and before all things, knowledge of the communion with what is absolute, and therefore how to live a life in accordance and unity with that primordial spirit and ethical impulse and innate desire unto infinitude. Or if you read, at least ancient philosophy had a clear purpose, a clear telos behind what it intended, something lost not just in, well, modern philosophy doesn't exist, but modernity in modern academia, if you're in school, if you're in university, if you're in a job, if you're in some career progression, you will never find a goal clearly articulated as to what this path is leading towards. We here live a life in a consumerist system, being sold and taught and imparted all these material things and even ideas. We're imparted with spirits and feelings and sensibilities and things we are supposed to be and things that we are supposed to do. But what's the end? Wherefore do we do all these things? What's this all about? I'm doing a degree, I'm studying medicine or engineering or mathematics. I'm in a career, I'm a whatever, an accountant, a banker, this or that. Well, what's the purpose behind this? We're in a system, whatever it is, an educational system, an economic system, a system of work, a system of labor, a system of housing, a system of society. We never chose this. We were never told or given a choice or told why it exists or what it exists for. We just exist here. And most of us exist our entire lives without even being able to ask the question of what this is. Forget about even finding the answer. Most of us are not even allowed to ask the question. But at least in ancient philosophy, in ancient religion, ancient society, whether we agree or we disagree, put that aside, there was a clearly delineated goal, purpose, one singular intention of the human being, which was to attain eternal happiness. And this, therefore, I believe, is the attainment of happiness. That the human being knows himself, to know thyself, because من عرف نفسه فقد عرف ربه. He who hath known himself hath known his Lord. And this is really the mystic mode of communion and communication between what you might experience as some duality between Eastern and Western religion and mysticism, Truly, they speak of the same thing. That the transcendental absolute self and God are two words for the same absolute reality. The happiness of man, therefore, is to know himself and become himself, to become one with the all, to be a servant of God, to serve the one, because one can only serve the one by serving oneness. And one can only serve oneness having himself become one and onely in unity and harmony with all that is. For as long as one is or serves himself and serves his own particular ego, he is away and apart from the all, which is the true one. That true and transcendental self, a self with a capital S, perhaps distinguished from the ego with a small s, is what we mean by the spirit, the ruh. And the spirit is a light. It is the word of God. Kun fayakun. Be and it is. Spirit is the word of God because the word is the effusion of the breath. The breath of God is the substance of all existence. And therefore, if the word is that which is in the beginning, and by which all things are made, then it is the word which is our study, our purpose, our work. Not just an intellectual study, as I keep saying, and I've said this in my videos of Arabic, how to study Arabic. It's not something intellectual. To study Arabic, to study anything, is the union of spirit and flesh. And now, therefore, if the word is in the beginning, then this study, this inculcation, this embodiment and incarnation of the word is this work, is this path in its entirety. Therefore, language is in the beginning. Again, language not merely as a matrix of symbols and a mode of communication, but language as the very word of the spirit, this very primordial force, the very beginning of all things, language as the logos. And here I see within myself that that language which is in the beginning is the ancient Arabic language. And I have distinguished between the Arabic language and the language of the Arabs, the Arabic people. Because Lughatul Arab, like the Arabic of Arabs, is rather a manifestation of this formless Arabic, which is in the beginning. This formless Arabic, Al-Arabiya bi'ayniha, this Arabic is that language of God, the Logos. This High Arabic, which also is the true meaning of the ancient Greek, the ancient Sanskrit, the ancient Hebrew, all these languages, that absolute formless language, which is the mother of all languages, Kitab, the mother of all things. Now, this Arabic, which we have inherited and preserved and which we speak, is the key to accessing that spiritual Arabic. As the physical body is the key to accessing the subtle spiritual body, because truly this dross of flesh shall fade away. Very soon it shall fade away from us and fall and obliterate itself. Therefore, the purpose cannot be any modification or preservation or augmentation of the physical body, which surely shall perish, but it must be towards that which is more lasting, rather everlasting, which is the spiritual body. Similarly, the true purpose, the true purport, is not merely to gain understanding of some language by which we speak, by some word by which we act and do, but to attain unto that eternal word, what is called the words of God, kalimatullah, the Logos. And so we study these languages so to attain unto that absolute language. Therefore, what is to be seen first is that high Arabic, which must be learnt. It is not an Arabic of anyone or anything. It is the Arabic of the Quran, this mystical book which was transmitted from heaven, from the unseen unto earth, this matrix of all things, تبيان لكل شيء. But this language which we speak here is English. And also I believe English to be a divine language, at least in its manifestation as that high classical English, which was imbibed by the likes of Shakespeare and of Milton, and also by the Romantics. But truly that language, that English in which the Bible was communed and written. I think there is something profound in that older, more ancient English, which is divine, because it has received something of the stream divine and been fashioned therewith and blossomed thereby. And also mathematics, which of course is the very language of God. Mathematics, which is the underlying language of all things. The mystical numbers of Pythagoras. The mathematics of heaven, as Thomas Brown calls it. These I beseech in this vision to be the languages. All one, really, as I said, of the same primordial formless language, the language of the Spirit, which is the very voice of God as it resounds in the self, and therefore the true voice of the self within. That shall be gotten, at least as I have beseen it here, through the study of these languages. And therefore what I teach here is, or are, these three words: the Arabic word, the English word, and the mathematical word. Now, of course, other people will have their own vision, for they speak other languages. And I encourage everyone to bring forth that language, that vision. But what I am building here, what I am establishing, what I am giving forth, is the knowledge of these three languages in one unity, in one temple, in one palace. For this is the sanctum of the Spirit, as it is enclosed in the sanctuary of the imagination. So to build up the temple of the body which is the temple of God and the house of God truly, for it is the human body, the human vessel which was created to house that divine spirit, to be the astrolabe, the locus, and the receptacle of the divine majesty in all its august glory. So to build this temple, we begin with this foundation stone which we have put down, which begins with this divine word. And so I shall teach Arabic and English and mathematics. And anyone is invited to read this book. It is found on my website if you so wish. And again, I make this video more for myself than anyone else, and I expect no one to even watch this. But if you do, then welcome, and may God bless you. This is the unity behind what is happening here at the moment. And more of this shall come in the future, in various facets. But for now, let me leave this very small video, and let me tuck it away betwixt all the other videos, and bid you the blessings of God.